Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 44 of My Mama Sandy. We are your hosts. I am Josh Fasten, and the woman next to me is wearing a tank top and some short shorts. This is
already
My Mama Sandy.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
It's
no tank top, no ever short shorts.
Now, would you say that the shorts you have on, are they called Daisy Dukes?
No, stop it.
I'm
way too old for that.
You know what I realized tonight before we got started? I was clearing some room in the computer. By the way, hi everyone. It's been
how many weeks? A month? 2 months?
So what we've been doing, we've actually been doing bi-weekly episodes just because our schedules have not been matching up. But
tell the truth, you're like out running around everywhere, hiking and
I'm
shit.
literally licking COVID cups.
Yeah, he goes to COVID parties.
What a fucking mess, huh? So anyway, wait, before we get into all that. I was going to say
the topic of the day, which
what was I just going to say? Oh, that there's some songs that I feel like would be better with your name in them. For example, Rod Stewart, Maggie May, Sandy May. It's a better song.
Sandy May and Sandy May Not.
Sandy May Not?
Yeah.
The other one, Walking in Memphis, by Mark Con?
Okay, so
Walking in
Sandy. Okay, how do you do that?
Diamonds on the Soles of Her Shoes by Paul Simon. Diamonds on the Soles of Sandy's Shoes.
I'd like that. I'd take them off and cash them in. Who needs diamonds on the soles of your shoes anyway?
Okay, so lots of stuff has been happening. We've been just kind of going through everything that's happening because there's a lot of shit happening in the world. Sorry.
Excuse you. Where's our cough button?
We have a mute button.
A mute button.
A moot.
That's what we need.
But we appreciate you guys still listening. We are episode 44.
The three of you.
Rodman and my cousin Brian, thank you. If you guys want to just start coming over to the house and you can just listen to us talk, and that way we don't have to keep recording this. And
I know that's what Josh said earlier. He goes, this is why we're not doing a podcast because we've been talking too much.
This literally costs us $14 a month to have these and host them. So if you guys just want to come over, that'd be great.
Oh yeah, but cheaper for us.
Sometimes it's really cool when Rodman will be texting and then he'll be listening to us at the exact same time. So then he just feels like I'm inside his head.
Oh.
So be quiet for a second. Let me be quiet for a second.
All right.
Rodman's pulling out of his company.
Out of his company?
I'm inside your head, Rodman. See? And there's freak out. Crazy.
Freak out.
So
why haven't we been doing our podcast?
Oh, we've just been busy. Things have been happening.
Yeah.
And to be completely honest, the world is a very dark and dreary. What was it? Is that a Edgar Allan Poe?
Dark and dreary?
The raven came to me in a night that was dark and dreary.
There is the raven.
He said...
I don't remember the dark and dreary part, but it's been many, many years since I read Edgar Allan Poe.
Dark and dreary. Quote the raven, nevermore. Quote the Sandy.
Okay.
So instead of getting into all of the crazy shit going on in the world, which by the way, we both had heard about COVID parties recently happening in, I think they said Alabama, where college kids, I'm assuming it's college kids, are literally going to a party with someone who has COVID. They're not telling who has it.
Oh, they actually go with somebody who has it?
Somebody has it.
Wow. And how do they know that? I mean, are they sick? I mean, can't you look at him and go, oh, that guy over there's coughing in the storm?
They're checking temperatures.
He's the one that's got,
and they see the guy's 105.
What's he doing at the fucking party? 105 fever.
He's literally in just his boxers. He's drenched with sweat. Everyone's like, I wonder who has the COVID here.
You know, that guy died.
I know. It's sad.
Yeah.
Very sad.
He wasn't
41.
an opera singer, though. He was an actor.
Broadway. I never said he was an opera singer.
Oh, I thought.
But yeah, so and then there's and then everyone pays to get in or something, and the payout goes to whoever catches COVID first.
Oh wow!
What?
I mean, how much fucking money are they going to get? $20? I mean, seriously, $100. What are they going to get?
I mean, it's just the fucking most stupid thing.
Well, especially when you hear about, people that are 41 years old that have been in, basically, he's since the 31st of March. What's the guy's name? Bandera or something?
Mark Cordero? Is it Mark? See, now I feel like an asshole because I actually was Adam? It's not Adam.
No.
Nick Cordero, standout Broadway actor, dies of COVID-19 complications at age 41. The problem,
he had like several strokes and amputation.
Yeah. The problem was though, you gotta wonder, because how this was being dealt with in the beginning was, they were putting everybody on those fucking ventilators, and I actually had a doctor in my, it came in the other day as a client. One of my clients is a doctor who came in for his haircut, and he was saying that, I think he said like 80% of people who put on ventilators don't live to actually get off that. I mean, it's very intrusive.
Well, on top of that, it's, usually you're not on a ventilator unless you're close to death anyway. So, and then it presents all sorts of issues with infection and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's absolutely the truth. But I don't know what his condition was to begin with. I just, it's really sad to.
It's extremely sad.
On top of that, then you see, these college kids who are dying to get it. How many, I guess maybe if one of them died and they knew somebody that died, maybe it would make, have some type of impact and make a difference.
Well, and the shitty thing too is that I think that the people in the very beginning of this were dealt kind of a bad hand, because no one knew anything about this virus.
We still don't.
Well, we still don't, correct? But
still brand spanking new.
But I think that they're starting to learn that, like, throwing all these people on ventilators right away is probably not the best thing to do, because the survival rate off the ventilator is not good. However, that brings me into what I want to talk about. We didn't rehearse this.
No, we did not.
But, well, why do you say it like that?
Well, I don't know. I don't know where we're going with this, but
so what I wanted to do,
it's like, if that's what you want me to say, I'll say that. Wink, wink.
So I thought it'd be fun. It's not fun, but dark times. But let's talk about, because we both love a good conspiracy. So I made a list of the most common COVID conspiracies. I'm going to read them to you, and then you can kind of give us your...
I can debunk them.
Yeah, you can debunk the conspiracies.
Or agree with them.
Or agree. Okay, that's fun, right? This is kind of a fun episode.
Can't wait, yes.
Because,
Well, what about your opinion?
This is kind of more for you. This is kind of...
More for me. So
Sandy Fasten PI is going... She's hitting the pavement. She's going to work. And we're going to debunk some conspiracy theories right now.
All right.
Okay?
All right, well, let's give it a shot.
All right, here we go.
See how it goes.
Because everyone...
I may need your help.
I know, because everybody knows do you have your badge?
My debunker badge?
Yeah.
No, I didn't bring my debunker badge
because everybody knows what's going on in the world. Everyone's reading the shit. So let's have fun. Let's do something kind of fun. This will kind of make everyone smile. Maybe we get a couple good Sandy laughs,
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, look, they're shooting outside.
That was not shooting. That was the cat's litter box.
Oh.
Okay, so the first conspiracy theory is that COVID-19, the novel coronavirus,
yes,
was created in a lab by the Chinese as a form of biological warfare. What do you think?
I think it's a possibility.
Do you think...
I don't think they let it out on purpose.
You think somebody tripped, fell, test tube broke,
exactly,
smoke went up in the air?
Isn't that like how Spider-Man got created or something? One of those...
I think he got bit by a spider. I think that's in his name,
there somebody,
Spider-Man.
Okay, is that how it happened?
You might be thinking of COVID Man.
COVID Man. He was created.
Number one. I already got the steady laugh.
A little test tube spill. What does COVID Man look like?
He's just like a poof of smoke.
And then what?
That's it? That's
droplets,
all it is? Droplets, yeah.
Oh, God.
There's all these
COVID Man.
COVID Man.
Okay. It's possible that occurred, yes.
He has
I'm not going to rule it out. Let's put it that
he
way.
has venomous breath.
I don't trust the Chinese government. I don't.
Because they're over there making superheroes.
COVID man. COVID man. COVID man.
Love it.
Oh, God.
So you think that's a possibility?
Yes.
And you think that they were working on it. It didn't get out on purpose. In fact, but somebody's tripped.
In fact, there are countries that like Israel's been working on
COVID-20,
the COVID viruses as well.
Okay.
So, and I don't know necessarily that it was meant to be a biological warfare weapon, but let's face it. I mean, I'm sure we do the same thing. I just guess maybe we don't trip.
We're better about it.
Yeah, we don't trip and create a whole new superhero.
What do you think they're doing at like Area 51? Like, do you think that they have some aliens? They're like, guys, we're fucked right now. Can you guys help us out with this?
I have no
COVID
idea.
Stuff?
I don't know. I don't know what's over there.
Do you think aliens live there? Do you think they have like little alien bodies?
A little alien village.
You know, they did say that when they had the Roswell crash back in, was it the 50s? The 60s? 50? Had to be the 50s, right?
Roswell? No, I don't think so. I don't think it was the 50s.
I'm gonna have to see. I hate Googling stuff while we're on the air because
I hate Googling stuff, period.
Roswell crash.
But if you've listened to our podcast, you know.
1947.
Oh, see?
That was close.
We were all wrong.
No, that was pretty fucking close. But there was like a funeral home that like the government called up and they needed
like little itty bitty
children caskets.
Children-sized caskets.
That's what they needed. They fucking order. That's weird, right? For a fucking weather balloon.
Wouldn't you think you would like burn the alien bodies and with the fear that maybe they would come back to life if you just put them in a little casket and
I think
bury them
because
underground?
they were already dead. I guess they were checking for the pulse. Aliens, you have to check for the pulse on their penis.
Okay. Again, if you had little alien bodies, you wouldn't. I know, cute little bodies. You wouldn't put them in caskets. You'd like probably dissect them and
put them in a shoebox.
No, I mean, I'm sure they're like in a refrigerator somewhere. Like
still.
I don't know. Probably not now, but freezer, maybe.
Fuck, 47?
The freezer, absolutely.
Like all the guys at Area 50.
Alien meat, hamburger meat only lasts about 6 months in the freezer.
Hey, Tommy, could you give me a popsicle? Fuck, this is not a popsicle. This is a pinky finger from an alien. What the fuck am I eating? I thought it does not taste like pina colada. Okay, second theory.
Okay.
Second COVID conspiracy theory. COVID only affects old people.
Well, obviously that's not true.
We know it's not true.
Yes.
Okay, but that was a conspiracy theory. COVID.
I know. Who's the conspirators? The old people? Who we want to protect ourselves, or
I don't know. Okay, weird. Number 3.
Yes.
COVID was created to help thin the population on the planet. Or also, because I've heard this as well, to kill off the old people.
So the young'uns can take over.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a really bad mistake in my view, because I don't think the young'uns know how to really take care of this country.
But do you think that was a possibility? That
no.
It started off as a
no. I don't think it. No, I don't.
Let's thin the herd.
No, but I mean,
like, hey, there's too many people.
That could certainly be an outcome of
like all the governments got together and were like,
oh yeah,
so
I'm
how
sure.
Do we,
yeah,
like you had Kim Jong-un, you had Donald Trump, you had Boris,
yeah,
Boris and Natasha, and they're sitting there, they're just like, well, guys, we got way too many fucking people living here. What do we do? Wow, what do you got in that lab? You working on some testing?
Release it. And if that doesn't work, let's work on maybe like a swine flu, a pig flu or something.
Oh, did you see China had what they announced? They said that they had.
I love pig, by the way.
They had that's a fucking word I'm looking for. They had cases. Like when a case is real, it's called a
confirmed case.
Confirmed cases of bubonic plague.
Really?
Yeah.
Where are they getting theirs from?
The bubonic plague?
Yeah.
I think that strain
because
is
they
coming.
come from
baboons.
fleas.
Bubons.
Bubons or buboni.
Buboni.
Buboni. That's the plural of bubons.
Mini bubon eyes.
We don't know what a bubon is.
It looks like a bamboon. A bamboon. A Bambi? Bambooni. Is buboni Italian? Buboni.
Could be.
Hey, Tommy, let me get a pizza and a couple bubonis. It's like a Italian pastry.
Stop.
You hit the table and
I know,
people are
you've
going
got to
deaf
stop.
in their cars.
Okay. They're not in their cars. They're staying at home.
Hey, Tommy, can I get a couple calzones and, I'll take a couple of those French bubonis. It's like a small baguette with, like a powdered sugar on top.
That's a buboni?
That's a buboni.
Okay.
With maybe a cream or a jelly filling.
All right. No, see, now I can't breathe again. Every time you make me laugh, I have nasal problems.
I'm sorry.
I know. Stop.
All right, so
You got to stop.
1, 2, 3. Okay, so
wait,
4.
what did we say about that one? What was the outcome of that? We didn't think that was true.
COVID was created to help thin the population on the planet.
Yeah,
we think no.
No, but it could be. It could certainly be the outcome of the.
So that was 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 3.
Yes,
Number
3 down, 4
on the conspiracy list. Masks are a form. So the masks that everyone are wearing are a form of mind control by the government to see if they can get us to do what they say, no matter how ridiculous it is.
I don't think the masks are that, but I think the government does try to do that with all sorts of things.
Now,
I mean, look at the fear they put into everybody, and actually, there was no fear to be had because if you wanted to protest, you could go out and protest, and
could you imagine though what it would be like if?
And you didn't have to be fearful of catching bubonic plague.
It's not. It's COVID. COVID, man.
COVID. We have bubonic plague here too, by the way.
Do you know that? Like, I wonder what would have happened if COVID was transmitted differently, right? And it was like some sort of weird thing, right? Where like the government was like,
You
hey,
mean not from the test tube dropped on the floor?
No. Like saying, cause like, so everyone's like, oh, well, if you wear a mask, then the respiratory droplets don't get to other people.
Right.
But instead it was like a thing where, you couldn't wear socks.
Underwear.
Right? Or you couldn't wear pants.
Well, that would be really easy. It would be really easy to stop the spread if you couldn't wear.
But what I'm saying though is
if you didn't wear pants that protected you. Oh no! In other words, when we went out, instead of wearing a mask, we had to not wear pants.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Is that if the government was like, oh, hey, you can go out and go to the grocery store, but you can't wear, like, if like all the grocery stores had like,
I'd be starving.
Like little images of people with like no pants on. They're like, no pants in here.
A sign that says pants, no entry.
Yeah.
You got pants? We don't want you.
Can't come in.
Can't come in. No pants allowed.
Checkers, like
pants
at the grocery store
with
a circle and a line. Checkers from at the grocery store, just no pants on, you know? You go to a restaurant, the servers come out with like no pants. And that was like, but do you think that would, because essentially people are saying like masks don't do anything, and the government just wants to see what they can get away with. But I think it would be a different situation if that's where it was like, oh, you can't wear pants.
I agree.
The whole world was naked and afraid.
Yeah.
Okay, so do we think that masks are a form of mind control?
No.
Okay.
No, I mean, do you? It's not controlling my mind.
No.
I don't wear one around the house. I also don't wear one in the car.
Did you get it? You kind of got English there for a second.
I did?
You're like,
I
don't.
I don't wear one in the car either.
No, I don't think that it's mind control. I think that they help people, but it's going to bring me to, the next point, the next theory, conspiracy theory, that masks are actually toxic if worn for long periods of time.
I think they are.
Right. So that I think is the big problem, is that there's all these memes and things going around, of people saying, well, if so-and-so can wear a mask, like I saw one, it's like, well, if Slipknot can wear a mask through through a set of music, then am I boring you?
No, it's late.
Then you can wear a mask to Target. And I don't think that there's any issue with wearing the mask to Target. I think the issue comes down to when there's people like myself or people like who work in restaurants where you're having fucking a mask on for
all day,
8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, you know? So
I can't, I mean, it's hard to talk. And like, you know, we've talked about this before, you know.
Well, I'm not concerned about it being hard to talk. I'm concerned about
you're breathing in
what I'm breathing out.
You're breathing back in.
What I'm breathing back in. And you know, and it's hard because there's all these conflicting theories that are coming and going about, well, this is not good and this is toxic, and if you're breathing in your own carbon dioxide, that's bad, and that could lead to way worse, you know, health things over the years than anything that COVID can do. So I don't know, right? I mean, this is an interesting theory, and I'm not sitting here saying that we should not be wearing masks in public, because I think that it's very important, and I think that what we've seen is that it does slow the spread of this thing. I just don't know if wearing a mask, you know, for 10 hours a day, I mean, we're in like a real fucking problem here. And who knows what happens in 10 years? You know, are you going to have all these people who wore masks for 10 hours a day? Their fucking lungs are going to collapse when they're 50, you know?
Well, they do it in a lot of Asian countries anyway.
Did you just say do?
They do.
Got it.
They do it. They do it. They do it in a lot of the Asian countries already.
Say it one more time.
Do it.
Got it. Okay.
You got it? So I would think that maybe there would be studies on the long-term effect of mask wearing. But the other thing is that, you know, maybe you need to have like a cotton fabric that is breathable. So
but see, that's what they say. The more breathable it is, the less
protection you have. Yeah, you know what? Just fucking stay home. Don't ever go back to work.
I don't want to. You know what's funny is there's like
stay here with mommy. Mommy will take care of you.
Oh God, there's something fucking seriously wrong with you. There was like a whole thing that, you know, and I've read it a couple times that talks about, well, you know, if you're going to have sex with someone who you have not like quarantined with, or that is, you know, back and forth exposure with other people, right? Then to wear a mask while you have sex.
Yeah, get out of here.
I'm serious. I read it like on several different articles. And I just think like.
And do they say you should wear a condom as well? Don't wear the condom even though it can be spread by
semen, men's semen.
Yes.
No, I mean, I think they've talked about obviously.
So don't wear a condom, but wear a mask.
No, I think that they say
we don't want
like
your droplets coming out.
Wear a condom to be safe as far as not, you know, because that was the big thing when it came out that it was found in semen, in men's semen, that, you know, obviously you want to wear a condom.
They want to ruin everything, huh?
Well, I'm just like, I mean, me being
like no kissing, no sex, no hand holding, no hugging.
I know, me being the mega romantic guy that I am, I'm like, how do you even have sex without kissing? I can't even wrap my head around that. It's so weird.
Well, be with somebody for 20 or 30 years, you'll get it.
But so I don't know, you know, it's like, you know, and I understand the whole idea. You're sitting there like swapping spit, but if you live with this person, God, you are just yawn city tonight.
I don't know why you have to keep bringing it up. Like you can hear it.
Yes, because when you yawn, you like put the fucking mic in your mouth.
All right. I'll sit back next time I yawn. I can't promise I won't yawn again.
But you would think that if you,
it's like 12:30. What do you expect?
The viewers, the listeners want this kind of stuff. But you would think that if you're in a situation where you live with someone and you're having sex with them, you're probably, you know, you're probably cooking together. I mean, you're probably talking in close proximity. I doubt that you're 6 feet away from this person in your house the whole time.
Yes, but keep in mind that if both of you are going out to work.
Well, even if only one is going out to work.
Even if only one. Exactly. Somebody is being exposed to other people. I know you hate that word, but somebody's being exposed. Look who's just yawned.
I don't even know what you're talking about. No, I don't hate the word exposed.
Shame on you.
I hate when you used to say, well, I'm just going to go to the grocery store and I guess I have to expose myself to everyone. It's like, well, that's
because I wear my trench coat.
Or you'd say to me,
with no pants.
Well, I don't want you to go to Target and go and just go in there and expose yourself.
I know, it sounds nasty.
All right, so moving on. So we've determined that are masks toxic? We say no because they do it in the Asian countries.
Oh, I think they are. I think they're not. I don't think it's a good idea to wear them for 8 to 10 hours a day.
Okay. Okay, you heard that first. My cousin Brian.
I know.
We're giving you the stuff, buddy.
I'm giving you the law, baby. Come on.
All right.
Make sure you tell all your friends that my mom Sandy said so.
All right. So, theory number 6.
Yes.
The COVID tests, the nasal swab tests,
Yes.
are being done, right?
Yes.
And are actually being tampered with to show that there's actually more asymptomatic, and I do that in the quotes, asymptomatic people. So in other words, people are taking tests that are negative, but then the testing sites are putting something on them to show that they're positive.
And, I mean, that's a lot of fucking work for anybody to do. Why would they want to do that?
I don't know. I read a report the other day that there was this whole big thing about these fucking nurses or something that were taking tests, and they took 10 swabs, and they opened the swab, the package, and then they put it in a test tube. And then 8 out of the 10 came back positive. But they were literally brand new swabs. They just put in like the little test tube. By the way, I got tested. We haven't even talked about that. We'll come back to that.
Yeah,
we'll get right back to
we
that.
We should talk about that. Wait a minute. Wait, let me get this straight. So these nurses opened up
thought
brand
that there
new
was like
swabs.
some shit going on. So
they opened up brand new swabs, put them in test tubes.
Let's say it together.
Put them in test tubes. Sent them out to the lab.
And they came back positive. 8 out of 10.
Well, who's fucking making the swabs? I guess that's the big question.
Johnson & Johnson.
No, that's not
No,
good.
I don't know.
She next door neighbor works there, by the way. But I don't think she'd ever listen to our podcast.
Well, maybe if somebody told her about it.
Yes.
So anyway, that was a theory.
Well, that's interesting. That's a bit scary.
So to drive numbers up, and then obviously these testing sites get more money and yada yada yada.
So, well, that is true too.
Yeah,
they do.
How do we feel about that theory?
I don't know.
Because in the beginning you said you were.
What do you think? What did they get more? They get the same amount of money for doing the test. What do they get? They get more money if they test positive.
Well, here's what I'm thinking, right?
I mean, that's fucking crazy.
So, like, let's say you're like an urgent care.
Yeah.
And you're doing testing.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't have any. I mean, I don't know anyone there, right? I don't have a source.
Yeah.
I wish I did.
Yes.
But I just want to let you know.
I don't have a source
As
either.
I say this,
no.
I don't have a source.
Okay.
And let's just say there's someone at urgent care. Let's just call them Jim.
Okay.
Again,
Jimbo.
I don't have a source.
Okay. All right. We've established that.
And Jim
this is a fictitious story.
Yeah. No source.
Okay.
And Jim is doing testing.
Yes.
Right. And Jim knows that if they get, maybe they have like a quota, that if they have.
Really? They're going to incentivize the.
I don't know. Maybe if they, maybe for every positive, the government pays them $10,000. So it would make more sense for them to have 10 positives a day, even if they don't have any positives. So maybe they have like a little petri dish of COVID, like a little test tube they're working on next to COVID man, and they're dipping the sticks in there a little bit.
It would make more sense for the government not to offer a bounty on everybody who tests positive.
COVID bounty.
I mean, that's fucking crazy. I don't see that.
Okay.
But, whatever.
Right.
I could be proven wrong. Stranger things have happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That show, Stranger Things, is a great show.
I know. Go ahead. So next.
Okay, next theory. Testing. Actually going in and getting testing.
Tested.
Testing. Actually going in and getting tested.
Yes.
Or, as I like to call them, testes.
Yes.
Is actually, the swab, they're actually putting COVID in you. The swabs have COVID already on them.
Well, that kind of goes with the other story, doesn't it?
Well, no.
If the nurses open up the swab,
one is that they're making it up, like they're
dipping it in COVID.
No, one is that the testing site is just like, well, they are automatically saying, oh, we have so many every day, even if they're all negative. This is saying they're actually transmitting, they're giving COVID to people.
COVID to you. Well, I hope not, because you just got tested.
Scary, huh? Yeah. I did think about that. I was like, you know what? Maybe
I don't think I want that thing in my nose, please.
So we're gonna say no. We also think no on that one.
I hope not. I'm gonna say no. I don't even want to think about that.
Okay, fair enough.
If I bury my head in the sand, will it go away?
It's already gone.
Good. Phew.
Okay.
What a relief.
Next theory.
Yes.
Bill Gates.
Yes.
The Microsoft.
Yes.
Created COVID so he could then create a vaccine and sell it to make tons of money off of it.
Well, I would say no, but let's wait and see if he gets the vaccine.
Okay.
And let's see where that one goes.
All right, fair enough.
Then we could disprove or prove.
All right, so next theory. So this was an interesting one that had popped up, and I'd read about this.
I don't think he's like a real scientist, though. But he just hired a whole bunch
Well, how fucked up was Windows for so many years?
I know.
You can't even fucking...
You think
like, dude, you can't even do virus protection on your fucking computers. You're going to give us a vaccine?
For a virus?
Great. Perfect.
Really? That sounds a little weird to me.
Like, you get his vaccine and, like, your body is just, like, shutting down.
Really?
Seems another unidentified virus. There's 57 viruses who are attacking them. Fuck. You pull up, you look at literally like a porn magazine and your body just like goes crazy. Yeah. Too many viruses.
Too many viruses.
Okay. Next theory. So this was one that I'd read a lot about. So apparently there's this like 5G phone tech, these like cell towers, cell tech.
I've heard of the 5G.
So they started putting up these like 5G cell towers, and they're saying that those are actually sending COVID into the air.
No, that's bullshit.
Okay, bullshit.
I think they're sending other things to the air, but not COVID.
Not COVID.
No. I mean, because come on, they didn't create those cell towers over in China, ship them over here.
I did hear though, there was a theory I just read about earlier today that if you look up to the skies,
can't wait.
And you can sometimes see the 5G towers, the cell towers.
And if you look at it straight in the eyes,
right at midnight as the moon eclipses the towers, you can spot COVID man with his cape up.
Yeah. I haven't heard that one, but that's interesting. We'll have to try that. Are we having a lunar eclipse or something?
I think it's, there's something like that. Something's happening. Yeah. Okay, so next one. COVID is actually being activated or exasperated. Is that a word? Did I just make that up?
You mean made worse?
Yeah.
Exacerbated.
What did I say?
I don't know.
Got it.
Exaggerated? I don't know.
I definitely didn't say that.
Exacerbated.
By the face masks.
You mean if you have it?
Yes.
Well, I think that's probably true as well. Okay. I mean, because if you're breathing in your own breath.
Do you think you're literally giving yourself more COVID doses?
Yeah, you're like doubling down on the COVID. I mean, they say if you're in a household where one of you gets COVID and the other one doesn't have it, that you should separate. You should use separate bathrooms. You should be in separate rooms. You should wear masks when you're in the same room together. It's kind of like being in prison. I guess I could like drop food off at your doorway or something.
Just put it in a bucket and just drop it down.
Or we could get a dumb waiter.
Where would we put that?
I don't know.
Seems like a lot of work. I might not be here that much longer. Seems like a lot of work to...
Well, maybe we could get somebody else in here who needs a dumb waiter.
But that would be fun, though, for you. If your foot doesn't ever get better, you could crawl into the dumb waiter. And that's how you get downstairs.
Up.
You're just pulling on their fucking
ropes.
There you go. Here we go. Going down.
Going down. Going up. I'd have to have some strong arms, though.
Work those bad boys out a little bit.
That's right. There you go.
All right. So the final theory is that the COVID death number, the death count, is extremely exaggerated.
Yes.
You think that's true?
I think that's true.
Okay.
And the reason I think it's true is because we've heard before that, like, if somebody commits suicide and they happen to have COVID, then their death is considered a COVID death. If somebody dies in a car accident and they had COVID, then they become a COVID death. So yes, I think that's true. And on top of that, I think the way they're reporting cases, we've talked about this before, and I don't know if we discussed it on the podcast, but that they're doing this thing where you go in and you get tested and it comes back positive, and then you go back 2 weeks later and you get tested again and it comes back positive again. They count you as a whole new case. So it's not like a continuation of the first case. Now they've reported, because you're not over the COVID, now they've reported 2 cases of the COVID.
Yeah, so that's like one of the things I don't like about this, and I've talked to a few of my friends about this very topic, is that the numbers are so and I agree. I think that probably to some extent the number of deaths are greatly exaggerated. Not to say that this is not killing people. Not to say that this is not a serious fucking thing happening.
Right.
But I think that the numbers at this point are so fucked that we are never going to get a clear count on how many cases, how many deaths, how many fucking, whatever. I mean, we've completely butchered the response to this thing. And, California is now, it looks like a fucking shit show compared to the rest of the country. And it's disgusting. It's fucking disgusting. It's turned into a fucking political battle, which should have never happened. This should have not ever been about whether you're Republican, whether you're Democrat. It should have been coming together as a nation to fucking eradicate this virus that is affecting our financial, our economy, our fucking day-to-day life, our relationships. Let's fucking get this. Let's put this thing to bed. Let's move on. Let's put this past us. But we can't because we got people fucking having COVID parties.
Well, among other things.
Yeah.
We have businesses, reopening, and we've talked about this before, that the 3 months that we spent in home, in isolation, going fucking crazy, was all for nothing, because as soon as they let the protesters protest.
But it's not, see, here's the thing though, right? And it's not just about.
No, but that coincided with the reopening of the economy.
Yeah.
So the problem is that if you're in the government and you're going to say, okay, everybody stays home. I mean, seriously, they're giving people fucking tickets for going to the beach. People are getting their business license pulled because they need to have a business and they want to open their business. But you can go on the street and protest and loot and set fires and do all kinds of horrible things. And that's okay. As soon as they say that's okay, then they got to open up the rest of the economy.
Yeah. So I think that
they rushed it.
Yeah.
I mean, within a week, it's like okay, we opened up this, and now it's restaurants. Now it's 2 days later bars. 2 days later gyms. 2 days later, it's like that's not the way they originally presented.
So I think
the reopening plan.
I think that the protests, and look, we've talked about it. I don't agree with the let's burn our cities down. I'm not okay with that.
Or let's defund the police.
I'm not okay with. I don't
know what the hell you do without police.
I'm not okay with, the violence that we saw on both ends. I'm not okay with, protesters violently attacking other people. I'm not okay with police attacking peaceful protesters. But the protests ended up being this perfect fucking storm for the time that we were in. To completely just fuck up everything.
Well,
that we've been doing. And
on top of that, it was actually breaking the law because there was a ordinance out there that did not allow for gatherings of more than 10 people. You couldn't have a funeral. You couldn't have a wedding. You couldn't do any of that stuff but for go out and loot and protest.
And I think that you're right in the sense of saying once that all started happening.
Yeah, what are you going to do now?
As these governors were like, well, fuck, we can't tell everyone they need to stay in. So I think that it was a rushed reopening. And it was. I mean, we saw restaurants were open on a Monday. By Thursday, it was like salons and shit is allowed to open. And then by like the following Monday, they were like, well, fucking gyms and bars can open.
Yeah, bars, yeah. Oh, it's so good. Open a fucking bar.
And what they had been talking about for so long was that, hey, here's this 14-day plan, these 14 days guidelines that we need of you can't have any numbers increasing. You can't have any cases increasing. You can't have any this. And that went right out the fucking door.
Well, I think they realized that was unobtainable. I mean, look, Eric Garcetti said we're not going to completely open up until there's a cure or a vaccine. Okay, Eric.
But I would have been.
I'm glad you're getting paid.
But you know what though? Like I would have been more okay with figuring out how to navigate that rather than in a course of fucking 10 days just reopening everything. But you're right. They got backed up into a corner.
I mean, again.
With the protests and stuff. So there was like, well, what else do we do now? But again, I think it was I think the protests needed to happen. I just think it was very unfortunate timing for everything. And now we're in a situation.
I think they should have shut them down from the very beginning. On top of that, if they had done that, then there would be no fires and looting that occurred in all cities, because it occurred not just here, but all over the country. Oh, I don't know. I'm just, again, I feel like everything we did for 3 months,
it was gone. It's a waste.
Yeah, right.
Absolute waste.
Right out the fucking window.
But I don't know,
No
people do have a right to protest. You can't take that away from people.
Well, okay, but you took the right to go to church away from them.
Well, right, but so that's the problem, though, is that you have to figure out how
You took their right to go to the beach away from them, which actually legally they cannot do because that land belongs to the people. They cannot tell you that you can't go to the beach. So, if they can take those rights away from you, then why can't they take the right? It's a public emergency. That's how it was explained to us. All of a sudden, when we have protesting over Black Lives Matter and George Floyd, it's no longer a public emergency that we have COVID. Look, it's got to be treated the same fucking way.
I'm going to say it again. I said this in the very beginning, that had we just fucking locked down, if the I'm not going to even say the whole world, whole United States had locked down for 2 weeks, or let's just say 4 weeks. We'll go with 4 weeks. Strict fucking lockdown. I'm saying, no
grocery stores.
No, you have.
We were. Don't you think we were like that?
Yeah,
for 3 months
but there were still people going out. There's still people going places. And in the beginning,
in the beginning it was wonderful. There was nobody. There was no traffic out there.
There were people that were like, "Oh, we're going to spring break. We're going to Florida for spring break. We're not letting this flu." So that fucked everything up in the beginning. And you look at the places that were open. Look, how many times? Twice I went and got us donuts. Why is the donut store open? And don't get me wrong, the donuts were fucking delicious, but
the donuts are essential business.
Close the fucking donut store, right? There's so many, I'm talking strict fucking lockdown for 2 to 4 weeks. And I'm saying maybe you do one grocery trip, but you fucking lock it down. There's no, you're fucking done. And you know what? Guess what? This thing would have been fucking. We would have beaten this thing.
I don't think so.
We'd be whispering a different.
I just heard yesterday on the radio that there's somebody suing Ralph's because Ralph's and who's their affiliate? Somebody else. Food for Less, maybe. Because they realized. God, you just yawned again. What the fuck?
See how far away I was from the mic?
I know.
You want me to explain? When you're here, you don't yawn.
When you're back there, you could yawn. Okay.
Yeah, they sued Food for Less and Ralph's
because apparently they knew of employees that caught the COVID and were exposed to other employees, and they didn't notify anybody. So it's like you have to be fucking responsible. Even if you have a business that's open, you have to be responsible about who's exposed to who. I would be pissed if the guy that was working right next to me all of a sudden wasn't at work and nobody said to me, "Oh, by the way, Joe, your partner here got COVID." Well, that means that I should be tested for COVID. Maybe I should even go home. As a matter of fact, let's talk about your issue with testing. Why did you get tested?
Yeah, so I don't want to discuss too many details about it because I think some of it is private, but there was potential that I was around someone that had it. And so for me, it was I had found out on a Saturday night that somebody that was in close proximity to me, or not close proximity, but I was around, had tested positive. And I didn't want to take any chances. So I went the very next day, I went to an urgent care. They were doing basically walk-up testing. And,
really? You didn't do a drive-through? I thought you did a drive-through.
Well, walk up.
Oh.
Right. So you're in your car,
okay.
But you don't have to schedule an appointment. You just basically go.
Yeah.
They hand you a piece of paper. You fill out your information.
And then they give you the COVID swab.
They give you the swab covered in COVID.
And they tell you to put it as far back at your nose.
But what's funny though is I had heard all these horror stories about it, about getting tested and how uncomfortable it was and this and that, the other. So I was just the whole time I was man, this is going to be really unpleasant.
Swab my mouth, please.
And so they come out. So I sat in my car waiting for, I don't know, hour and 15 minutes. And then they come out. Very nice guy, urgent care guy. And yeah, he was an Asian, I don't know, 20, 30-year-old Asian guy. Nice guy. And he came out and he and he had like the face shield with the mask and like the hot
PPE,
like the scrubs,
yes,
so I rolled down my window and
he said, "Don't take it too close."
No, and he was just like, okay. He's like, well,
please.
Okay, so you're gonna, so we're gonna do the test, and I was like, okay, great. And he like opens the swab case, like the little swab paper,
yes,
and he like hands me the swab.
What am I gonna do?
And I was
this?
like, yeah, that's a swab. Like he wanted me to be like, yep, that is what we're gonna use today,
It's a COVID swab.
And so he's like, okay, take the swab, and I'm like, oh, like I thought, like to me for a second, I was like, oh, it's like a magic trick, like when the magician's like, here, make sure this is a real pen,
Really?
Here, you take the cards, you shuffle them for me really quick.
You make sure that everything looks right.
Does anyone have a coin I could borrow? Here, I'll take this.
How about a swab?
Could you check the coin for me?
Yeah.
So he hands me so I'm like, oh, okay. So I take the fucking swab out, and I'm just like, and I like look at him, I'm like, that's a swab, And then he goes, okay, just stick it in your nose. And I'm like, oh no, bud, I'm not trained in this.
Stick it where?
in the slightest, like I did not go to medical school. I was like, look, you give me a head of hair and some scissors, I will cut, but I don't know how to do this, And then he was just like, assured me, see, you fucking did it again. Back up off the mic. Yawny.
Yawny.
So then he's like, oh, well, just, your nasal cavity is a lot deeper than what you think. Right? Because in my head, my nasal cavity stops literally right where my cheeks are. Yeah. Right? So I have the Q-tip, the swab in front of me, and then I realize I don't know where I'm going with the swab. Like I don't know if I'm going up into my brain or if I'm going straight back into my throat, through my nose. And so I look at him and I'm like, because again, never done this before, right? I'm a
virgin.
Still don't know why I'm, So then I stick it. So he goes, you just go straight back. And I was like, all right. So then you take the swab and you go in.
Show me with the pen.
No.
Oh.
So
if I go get a swab, will you do it?
No, because then my concern about a little tiny Q-tip is that I might not be able to get it back out. And then it's weird because then you either have to get it out of your throat or your nose, and I don't want to do either.
Yeah. So, I don't want to take you to emergency either.
My son was reenacting. He had so much fun when he got tested.
He was tested
reenacting
for COVID?
The COVID test.
That's right.
So then
he wants to be a COVID tester.
So you start pushing it in. Now, in my head also, I'm thinking about all the old, like, sideshow performers that would, like hammer the nails into their nose.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I've seen a lot of them do it. So I'm just like, all right, well, it's got to just fucking be open back there. It can't be like a wall,
It's a wall.
It would have been, I would have liked to have seen, like, an x-ray, though, while I was doing it, so I could have, like, verified, like, oh, no, yeah, this is going to go straight. So you get to the point at which, if you've ever picked your nose, your finger stops, right? You get to that point.
You know what? I know it's going to sound weird, but I've never done that before.
Well, I've never tried to like shove my finger all the way up my nose or anything, but I mean, I've definitely like picked boogers out of my nose. Yeah. You've never like picked a booger,
no.
or when I get out of the shower, I like clean my nose with a
Kleenex. Yeah.
Kleenex. Yeah. Okay. So same thing. So in your mind, it kind of stops right around like the cheek. Yeah. It doesn't go any deeper.
No.
Well, that's a falsie.
Although I use a neti pot, so I know like when you put the water in one nostril, it goes up and comes out the other one. It's very weird. Yeah, it's a real magic trick.
I remember when we were on one of the cruises. My cousin Brian will appreciate this.
Yeah.
We were on one of the cruises, and I think he had Starburst, and he handed me a red. I'll never forget this. He handed me a red Starburst.
Yes.
And I started eating the Starburst, and we were getting ready to go to dinner or something, and I went down to tie my shoe.
Yes.
And as I was tying my shoe, I felt some like liquid drip out of my nose. And I like looked up and I was like, oh my God, my nose is bleeding.
It was red?
It was red, yeah. And then I like wiped it and I smelled it and it was cherry. And I was like, oh, it's not bleeding. It's just cherry Starburst juice just literally coming from my throat out of my nose.
Oh, that's weird.
Because it's all connected. Your nose and your throat.
Yes, I know, but that's weird.
So
it's weird that something you would eat in your mouth would come out of your nose, but all right.
All right. So anyway, when you get to that point, you can keep going with the swab.
Yes.
And you almost feels like it like kind of like breaks the barrier, and you just kind of keep going. But I'm moving very slow because again, I don't know how far this goes. In my head, I'm like, I definitely don't want to get it to the back of my head, somewhere there's a brain or a spinal cord.
It's not that long, the swab, is it?
It's like 4 or 5 feet.
Oh, okay.
So
and he'd have to help.
I had to have the windows rolled down.
Really?
I'm like, I don't know. That's a very long
Can
swab.
you help
I don't
me
know.
with that? I can't reach the end.
It's like the knights when they lance.
Yes.
Lance.
Yes.
Glance?
I don't know.
A lancing blow with their
swords.
No,
I don't know what they're called.
Anyway,
those thingies.
So I'm going very slow, right?
Yes.
It's creeping into my nose.
You are. You've been telling the story for hours, but go ahead.
I tell you, 44 episodes and you become a real bitch.
I know. I'm a bitch anyway.
So the guy looks at me and goes, deeper, 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 deeper. And I turn to him and I'm like, please stop saying that. Like, that is, first off.
You're not my type.
I'm not. This is not romantic at all. Okay?
Yes.
You did not give me a drink before this.
Really?
Right?
I literally didn't get wine to dine or anything.
I'm sitting here trying to not fucking poke my brain and stroke out in my car.
And you keep telling me
and you tell
deeper.
me to go deeper. So he stops, right? And then I just kind of keep going with this thing. And then I get to a point, he goes, okay. And now you can just circle it around. Yeah. So then I circle it around and he goes, okay. So I pull it out.
4 feet of it.
I pull the 4 feet of the swab out.
And then he
pops
tube.
And then he pops open this giant test tube
that's
right. touching the floor. And I put the swab in. But then I also had that moment though where like when he was like, all right, you're all done. And I pulled it out. I was like, I could have kept going. Like I could have done more, you know?
I don't want to do that.
It's not bad. It's actually not bad. And you know what? I encourage everyone, if you've been around people.
I just don't want to do it to myself. But yes, go ahead.
Especially after the 4th. If you guys, whatever, go get tested. Go to an urgent care, get tested. I've heard they're like a little backed up right now because of because numbers are through the roof, but.
I know, but what's weird is that like you're going again in a couple days to be tested.
Yeah, but I made that appointment 2 weeks ago.
I know, but you should probably keep it anyway because if you're
100%.
exposed to somebody, you know, what I read on the internet was incubation could be 2 to 14 days. So.
Look, I honestly
You better not have it because if you get it, then.
Isn't it good that we don't share a mic though?
Yeah,
That'd
but
be
we
weird.
fucking live in the same house. I mean, how could we? We share the same remote control.
I think that this is going to get to a point, and we're going to wrap this up it's really hot in here.
It's really hot.
Aren't you glad you're wearing those short shorts?
Yes. I wish I was wearing no pants.
Well, depending on how COVID goes.
Yes.
I think that this could end up being something that people give. You know, that we're getting tests in the mail. And we're swabbing our own noses and shit. I think that could be.
I think that would be good, or that we could check our antibodies at home.
I don't think
they haven't even perfected that.
Yeah, I don't think we're ever. I think we're very
so.
far away from that. I think we're more at a point where at-home testing could be a real thing.
Kind of like drug testing at home.
100%.
COVID testing.
Yeah, or like a pregnancy test if you don't want to get as dark with the drug testing.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, well, I got nothing else. This has been a fun episode. Couple laughs.
A few.
Okay. And we're going to do our best.
A few yawns.
To get a new episode up every Tuesday. If you guys could do us a favor, we have not had a review on the app, on iTunes, on the podcast app under My Mom Sandy since like December. If you guys could just go on there.
Could you like write something?
I think he might have already. But if you guys haven't.
Cousin Brian?
Could you go on there, give us 5
Maxine,
stars?
Ellie?
Yeah, somebody. It doesn't even matter who. Or tell a friend.
You don't even have to write anything. You just do 5 stars.
Tell a fucking no. I would like a little thing like, hey, great podcast, and then give us 5 stars. But I'd really love to see that by next week.
I would too. It's your assignment. Those 2 of you that listened.
My cousin Brian, Rodman.
My cousin Brian and Rodman. Yes.
Tell some fucking people.
Really.
And then if you guys need to get a hold of us, you guys can shoot us an email, mymomsandypodcast@gmail.com. Or you guys can tune in and look for us on Instagram at mymomsandypodcast. And for everyone fucking still listening and hanging out with us every Tuesday, thank you guys so much. And
we appreciate it. We don't think we're going to make our millions doing this, though.
You know, it's never too late.
It's never too late.
Is that the?
I don't know.
It's never early enough when it's late.
That's more like it. It's never early enough when it's late.
All right.
Very good. Whoop, there it is.